Hey everyone, Languages Lover here and welcome back to the channel. For today's video, I shall do a continuation of my previous video about the 10 most difficult languages to learn as promised. For this time around, it's going to be about the 10 easiest languages to learn. But before starting, as always, I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe for more awesome languages videos like this one. Alright, if you recall in my last video, I gave you factors that make a language harder than others to learn. This time, I'm going to show you what makes some easier than others. Sometimes you come across similar vocabulary in your native language and the one you're trying to learn. It's not always obvious because false cognates are very frequent, but there are words that look alike that have the same meaning. We did talk last time about some languages having a different word order in the last video, but for this list, you'll only find languages that have the same word order as English, which is SVO. Determining the easiest languages for you to learn depends on your mother tongue as well. The easiest languages for Catalan speakers may not be the same as the ones for Vietnamese speakers, let's say. So this list is mostly for native Romance and Germanic language speakers, because my native language is a Romance language, and the lists you mostly find are for native English speakers. So I don't know what's easier for native languages or for native speakers of other tongues. Next up, the language you're learning has easy pronunciation, which makes things less complicated from the start. Finally, the language you want to learn has the same script as your mother tongue. By the way, all the languages on this list have the same script, so you don't have to worry about a thing. Alright, now on to the countdown. Number 10 is Romanian, or Română. Romanian is easy because there are many similar words like nu, meaning no, autor, meaning author, Italia, meaning Italy, and Romania, meaning Romania. I wrote down the sentence to give you an example of its similar syntax, and that's also another reason why it's easy. And I even colored the different parts of the sentence so you guys can see what I mean. And by the way, I also did this for the other languages on the list as well. In Romanian, to say I don't understand Romanian, you say nu înțeleg română. And as you can see, I did first it's don't, which is nu, I understand înțeleg, and română, which is Romanian. So basically it's like don't I understand Romanian, meaning I don't understand Romanian. So, and for the next one, this may surprise you if you know me well. Number 9 is French, or Français. I know what you're thinking. Why did you put your native language at number 9? Don't worry, fellas, I'll explain. French is often considered among the easiest, but as a native speaker myself, I have to say that my language is one of the wackiest Romance languages out there. Let's first see why it's easy. First off, the French sentence structure is the same as the English one, judging from this example. And I also put the different colors for more evidence. Alright, so I think about you every day is Je pense à vous tous les jours. So as you can see, it's very similar. Next up, just like Romanian, French shares common vocabulary with English, such as restaurant, restaurant, mais, to transform, transformer. So that was the easy part. Now, here's why French is difficult, a little bit. If you speak or have studied French, you know that silent letters are very common in the language. Unless you learn yourself if a word has silent letters or not, there's a good chance you'd pronounce words as they're written, but French doesn't work like that. Once again, pay attention to how I pronounce the sentence. Je pense à vous tous les jours. It's je pense à vous tous les jours. It's not je pense à vous tous les jours. It would just be weird, so please be careful, guys. Alright, next language is Catalan or Català. Catalan is easy because of its grammar, which includes the same sentence structure as English. If we look at this example saying, he has 2 cats and I have 4 dogs, which is Té dos gats y tinc quatre gossos. We can see that it's pretty much translated word for word. Catalan is also another one of these languages with many similar words, like Catalan, Català, calendar, calendari, parliament, parlament. Number 7 is Swedish or Svenska. Swedish is one of 3 Germanic languages to make this list. Let's see why. Swedish shares a lot in common with English, such as the words bank, bank, December, december. However, it's only number 7 because its pronunciation can be tough since it uses a pitch accent to differentiate between 2 words. And it's kind of weird, just like in Chinese, yeah. Nevertheless, we can't forget the easy verb conjugations when a verb is conjugated the same way depending on the verb tense. For example, I worked, jag arbetade, and we worked, vi arbetade. So it's conjugated the same way, making things obviously smoother. Grammatically speaking, Swedish has an easy sentence structure. For example, to say, I speak Swedish and I understand Norwegian, you say, Jag talar svenska och förstår norska. And the only difference is that in Swedish, the second I, jag, is omitted. Because if you're still talking about yourself, it's not necessary to re-specify that you're the one doing the action. Just do it when you need to change the pronoun. Next up is one of my personal favorite languages, Portuguese or Português. Portuguese is pretty easy, mainly for Romance language speakers because they'll start noticing many similarities, especially Spanish speakers, although Portuguese words are pronounced differently. Something that makes it fun to learn for French speakers too is that in both languages use nasal sounds which speakers of the other language already used to because they grew up using nasally in their mother tongue. Grammatically speaking, Portuguese and English share the same word order. If we look at an example saying, I can speak other languages as well, you say, eu posso falar outras línguas também. As also, similar words are present too, like vocabulary, vocabulário, and dictionary, dicionário. Our second Germanic language on this list is Norwegian, or Norsk. Norwegian is easy for English speakers because both are Germanic languages, but it's perhaps easier for Swedish speakers. Sure, written Norwegian looks more like Danish, but spoken Norwegian is easier to understand to Swedish-speaking ears. Many words like from, fra, and welcome, välkommen, are very similar or equivalent in English. Just like Swedish, conjugating verbs in Norwegian is a snatch. To form the present tense, you only have to add an R to the infinitive. For example, the verb to have is ha, I have, jeg har, you have, du har, and so on. Norwegian also has similar grammar like all languages on this list. To say I speak Norwegian, you say, jeg snakker norsk. Number 4 is Dutch, or Nederlands. For native Germans and English speakers, this language is a gift. In fact, learning Dutch is often said to be easier than German, because unlike German, Dutch doesn't use cases, and Both languages have the same sentence structure. Dutch also has a lot of vocabulary in common with English, because if we look at a few examples, here I put a trilingual sentence, which is in German, English, and Dutch. The sentence is kind of weird, but it's I give you an hour to find him. In German it's Ich gebe dir eine Stunde ihn zu finden. While in Dutch it's Ik geef je 1 uur hem te vinden. In terms of sentence structure, you can see that both Dutch and German send the second verb at the end, making it easier for them. But in case that wasn't enough for you native English speakers, let me show you other similar words with English. For example, day in Dutch is dag, book is boek, and to learn is leren. Great, now you can fly to Amsterdam peacefully and have an awesome time learning Dutch. Our number 3 is Italian, or Italiano. Italian is mainly similar in its vocabulary with words like minuto, meaning minute, paradiso, meaning paradise, and possibile, meaning possible. Are you stressed about learning another alphabet in different languages? Believe it or not, but Italian uses the same alphabet as English, but there we go. Removed 5 letters in its language from the English alphabet. This leaves Italian with 21 letters compared to English's 26 letters. The main reason behind this is that the letters J, K, W, X, and Y are only used in loan words and foreign names. And last but not least, we can't forget about Italian's word order, which is the same as the English's SVO. For example, I found my brother yesterday is Ho trovato il mio fratello ieri. Same thing. The second easiest language to learn is the language of Cervantes, which is Spanish or Español. Spanish is usually number 1 on these lists, but there is actually a language that is much easier to learn that everyone seems to forget about. We'll find out in a couple of seconds, but now let's talk about Spanish. Today, it's one of the most widely and studied languages out there, making it easy to learn because you can easily find a lot of resources out there and a language partner. Spanish shares many words in common with English, like family, familia, color, color, problem, problema. The word order is pretty much the same, old SVO structure. I ate an apple with my friends 2 days ago in Spanish would be Comí una manzana con mis amigos hace 2 días. Overall, aprender español es muy fácil y divertido. And if you don't speak Spanish yet, learning Spanish is fun and easy. Easy and fun. Yeah. Now, it's time for me to show the world what the easiest language to learn really is. Is everybody ready? Everybody got their popcorn ready? Are you all anxious to find out what it is? Let's go. The easiest language to learn is Esperanto, or Esperanto, which is the same. Major factor right there. Esperanto is often ignored today because of it's a constructed language and the official language of 0 nation, but it's actually more easy than many people think. And not only that, but it can also help you learn another language. Let's find out why Esperanto dethroned Spanish as the easiest language to learn on this list. You're worrying about learning too much grammar rules because you think you suck at grammar? You'll like learning Esperanto because there are only 16 basic grammar rules. I'm obviously not going to point them all out in this video, but I've selected 3. The general endings for noun is, in their singular form, is o. And if you look at examples right here, braco, meaning arm, tago, meaning day, orello, meaning ear. Yeah. Adjectives end in a in words like bona, meaning good, rapida, fast, granda, big. The third rule I picked is that just like in Swedish and Norwegian earlier, Esperanto uses very easy conjugation. Spanish requires conjugation for every pronoun in the verbs, while Esperanto has a basic rule where each verb tense is conjugated with a specific ending. For example, the past tense is indicated by is, the present tense by as, and the future tense by os. And if you look at the example, which is I learned, I'm learning, and I will learn, mi lernis, mi lernas, kai mi lernos. So these are just some of the reasons why Esperanto is easy. Anyways, I hope you guys like this countdown. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, if you've enjoyed, like, comment, share, subscribe. That'd be super duper awesome, amazing. And I'll see you next time. Bye!